Has anyone seen Where the Wild Things Are? Yeah, remember that? Remember when they turned that children's book into a fucking horror movie? For those of you who don't, Where the Wild Things Are is a 2009 fantasy movie based on the children's book of the same name. In it, a young boy named Max escapes to an imaginary island after trying to eat his mom. The island's full of monsters that want to eat him, but they let him live after he convinces them that he's their king. It's ruthlessly sad, and also the scariest movie I've ever seen. And if you don't understand why, do you see that little white cat creature getting tossed around by all of those terrifying monsters? Well, that's actually a little boy. I know that's a pretty convincing weasel disguise, but he's actually a small child with very crushable bones. And yeah, I get it. It's a metaphor. Fuck you. My two biggest fears are clowns and drowning. You think I'm a rational man? This movie is tense as hell from beginning to end because of the massive difference in power between the monsters and Max. The monsters are super powerful and their emotions are all over the place. You're just terrified that they're gonna find out Max isn't a real king and go back to trying to eat him. Because the second they decide they want to eat him, they'll just fucking eat him. And there's not a damn thing he can do about it because he's just a regular, not a weasel little boy. Do you see where I'm going with this? Superheroes are terrifying. The gameplay trailer for Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League just dropped, and first, let me just say, who the hell thought this was an okay title for a video game? Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Do you know how many kids are gonna get institutionalized next December? If a parent sees Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League on their kid's Christmas list, they're gonna send his ass to therapy. Anyway, the trailer dropped and the whole time I was just like, holy shit, this is tense. It opens with Captain Boomerang dissing the Flash on some live stream, and like, you know they're setting it up for the Flash to zip in and kick his ass?
When I think of the Justice League, I think of Wonder Woman, Superman, but you, Barry, you're just the team mascot, aren't you, mate?
But the whole time he's doing it, I was just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Take it easy. It's like when you're 10 years old and you're hanging out with your friend and he starts mouthing off to his mom and you're just like, it's cool, dude, I didn't want any dessert anyway, let's drop it. I know it's supposed to be funny, and it is, but it's like uncomfortably funny. It's super tense because of how comically outmatched these guys are. Like in the upcoming Suicide Squad game, you play against a man who can create anything he imagines, a man who can run at the speed of light, an invincible woman, an invincible man who can fly, shoot lasers out of his eyes, and also run at the speed of sound. You play as a woman with a bat, a man with a boomerang, a man with guns, a man who is a shark. These are terrifying odds, and I get that that's the joke, but hear me out. What if Rocksteady really leaned into the horror of this situation? The Suicide Squad has always been scary. I don't know about you guys, but the final act of James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie scared the shit out of me. Quick spoilers for that movie, so if you haven't seen it, skip to this point, but also go watch it because it kicks ass. At the end of that movie, when Starro breaks out of the facility and starts mind controlling everyone, I shit myself. And I didn't stop shitting myself until the credits rolled. It was a medical catastrophe. I lost 13 pounds worth of shit in that theater. And it was because the scope of what they were dealing with was so far out of their capabilities. How was this group of misfits supposed to defeat a giant starfish monster, let alone one with an army of mind-controlled civilians? It was truly harrowing, and I love that about this movie. I actually wish they'd gone farther with it. Put all the characters in increasingly desperate situations, bringing them seconds from death. Have the zombies overwhelm them, and then, just before they're all killed, have Superman fly through Starro's eye and out the other side of him. Like, you wouldn't even have to show Superman, just have a red blur tear through Starro, killing him instantly. I think that would be the perfect ending, because one, it's funny, but two, more importantly, it shows how this catastrophic, unbeatable foe is like barely an obstacle for Superman. It shows that this team is nowhere near capable of taking down a member of the Justice League, and makes Superman all the more intimidating from their perspective. Look, I'm not saying we take away Harley's weapons, give her a camcorder, and set the whole thing in Arkham, but it would be be a huge missed opportunity if Rockstar didn't play into the inherent horror of the Suicide Squad situation, at least where the bosses are concerned. The Suicide Squad is a task force built around the fear of superheroes. The government assembled this team because they know that if Superman turned evil, it would probably only take him an afternoon to genocide the human race, provided that he doesn't stop for frozen yogurt along the way. There is nothing humanity could do to stop Superman if he one day decided he didn't want to be stopped. And that's terrifying. A lot of other superhero properties have been playing around with this idea too, and I am so glad that they have.
Recently on fire.
Where's Mark, William? You were supposed to drop him off an hour ago.
The evil Superman trope is definitely a controversial one, but it's without a doubt my favorite. Because every time a show pulls this trope, it's always like the scariest thing.
Oh, sweetheart, of course I'm gonna save you. You betcha. I'm gonna save everyone here. Don't worry about it. You stay the fuck back, or I'll laser you, goddammit! I'll laser every fucking one of you!
But this trope hasn't really been explored yet in video games, which is why I'm super excited to see that it's the main premise of Rocksteady's next game. From what we've seen, the gameplay looks really energetic, chaotic, and colorful. And good, it should be. This is exactly what this kind of game should look like, a mix between Arkham City and Sunset Overdrive. That totally works for the general gameplay. But when I enter a boss room, I want any sense of fun I was having to be replaced with dread. And not the kind of dread where you're like, ah, damn it, another boss battle? These suck! I want them to be fun, but I want to feel intimidated. This game has the potential to have the best lineup of bosses since God of War 3. I want each one of them to feel just as big of a spectacle as they did in that game. And here's the thing, they wouldn't even need to sacrifice the humor to make these encounters feel tense. For example, the Flash is genuinely scary in this trailer. And no, not just because he looks like a praying mantis. He's scary because he's funny. There's something so intimidating, so unnerving about a villain just fucking with you.
Did you get him? Really? Why don't you just mail me the bullet?
Like, the Flash knows he's so out of your league that he doesn't even take you seriously. It makes you feel like these characters are only still alive because he's allowing them to be. And it's such an effective show of dominance. Seeing him crack jokes and toy with the Suicide Squad is so menacing when you know at any moment he could snap all their necks in under 3 seconds. They could literally give the Flash a song and dance number and make it unsettling if done right. So yeah, they're giving me what I want, with the Flash at least. I just hope the same level of intimidation is prevalent with the rest of the bosses, because you're gonna have to make them intimidating in different ways. Yeah, the Flash is scary because he's cocky, but Superman has to feel like a grizzly bear charging down a corridor at you. Jon Stewart's terror needs to come from the fact that you don't know what he's capable of imagining. He can literally make anything he wants, and that alone can propel his horror. I think it'd be best if Wonder Woman also kind of feels like a charging grizzly bear, but from a more boots-on-the-ground standpoint. Like, Superman can feel like this world-ending, unstoppable threat where he just flies through a building and it comes toppling down. But Wonder Woman needs to feel brutal and bone-crushing as she charges at you, taking you down with her fists. But you know what? I'm not too worried. I mean, think about it. Rocksteady's previous games were all about showing you just how terrifying Batman is. They focused heavily on immersion and making players say,
Batman Arkham City makes me feel like Batman.
Those games were full of little details that made you feel terrifying. So I'm betting this one's gonna be full of details that make you terrified. Besides, it's not like Rocksteady isn't used to adding unnecessarily scary shit in their games. I played 80% of Arkham Asylum and Detective Vision because these sadistic devs thought it would be okay to have crazy people busting out of vents left, right, and center. Yeah, and who remembers this shit?
Rioters on Minnetonka Island. Falcon 5 out.
Actually, now that I think about it, this could be like an anti-Arkham game. This game is an entire perspective swap. If those games were about showing you how intimidating you could be as a superhero, I hope this one's about showing you how intimidated you could be of them. Almost like punishment for terrorizing those criminals so much in their previous games. It's almost like they're saying, oh, you thought that was fun? Now you see how it feels, bitch! This has the potential to be the most immersive and terrifying superhero game ever. And there's no team more up for the challenge than Rocksteady. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please consider liking it and absolutely devastating that subscribe button. I make lots of videos like this, and you won't want to miss them, especially with The Witcher Season 2 and Spider-Man No Way Home coming out this week. Give this video a like, comment, and share. It really helps out a ton, and I will see you guys next time.
Where they fill with the liquor, drink this and let the body flicker. Water drips on your tongue like honey. Everybody in the sundress, and it's sunny out.